High Commission in Toronto has also, consulate in Toronto has announced that they'll be putting a stop to few of the services that they were providing and camps for that matter. Has there been any new threat to any of our diplomat, given that we have just discussed last week that they were under surveillance? And how do, though there is a statement already, but how does India view the recent escalations that we have seen between communities in Canada?
Okay. Uma?
उमा शंकर सिंह एनडीटीवी इंडिया से। भारत का एक प्रतिनिधिमंडल काबुल गया, वहाँ पे तालिबान के रक्षा मंत्री और विदेश मंत्री से मुलाकात हुई है। ये जानकारी यही है कि मानवीय सहायता के मुद्दे पे बात हुई, लेकिन और द्विपक्षीय संबंधों को लेकर क्या बात हुई और क्या सरकार को हमने मान्यता अभी तक नहीं दी है, तालिबान सरकार को मान्यता नहीं दी है, लेकिन इस तरीके से आधिकारिक तौर पे मिलने के पीछे की वजह क्या है?
मोहन?
Mohan Sharma, Bharat Express. There is a state-sponsored opposition or protest in Canada, particularly against the Hindus. They are being targeted and laws are being abrogated over there. And government is a mute spectator in Canada.
Okay. Ayushi?
This is Ayush Sharwal from ANI. Sir, during our External Affairs Minister visit to Canberra, how much was Canada and the recent violence discussed, since the Australian Foreign Minister said that she discussed the allegations against India by Canada?
Yeshi?
This is Yeshi Seli from the New Indian Express. After former President Donald Trump has been re-elected, where do you see India-US ties going? Do you also see, a softening on the stand of the indictment that happened last year? Also on Bangladesh, is there likely to be a reassessment?
Okay. First, let me take these questions. Rishabh, coming first to your question. Yes, you would have seen the message posted by our consulate in Toronto that they have had to cancel the consular camp that they were planning to organize over the weekend because they did not get adequate security or security assurance from the host government. So that was the reason why these consular camps have been cancelled. As you know, we have a large diaspora in Canada. Many of these people, especially around the month of November, December, they need several documentation for continuation of their pensions and several other activities here in India. So this consular camp that we do is helpful to the community, to both people of Indian nationality and people who are of Indian origin but Canadian nationals today. So that is the reason why the consular camps have had to be cancelled. But I do understand that in other parts of Canada, Vancouver for example, the consular camps will be conducted. These consular camps are conducted at the request of the community organizations. So where the community organization is comfortable, we'll go ahead with these consular camps. The other question you had about was about recent escalations, etc. On that, you have seen our comments that we made. We condemned the attack on the temple in Brampton, and we also called upon the Canadian government to uphold rule of law and to bring to justice people who perpetrated the violence. We hope that the Canadian government will take due action. Uba, on your question, Kabul पे हमारे जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी जो हैं पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान, ईरान देखते हैं हमारे मंत्रालय में, जेपी सिंह, उन्होंने यात्रा की अफगानिस्तान की, काबुल में। वहाँ पर ये 4 और 5 नवंबर को हुआ। वहाँ पर उन्होंने कई एक मंत्रीगण से मिले और कई एक वहाँ पर के जो सीनियर ऑफिशियल्स हैं उनसे उनकी मुलाकात हुई। बहुत सारे विषयों पर चर्चा हुई, खासकर जो मानवीय सहायता हम देते हैं अफगानिस्तान को। इस बात पे भी चर्चा हुई कि चाबहार का जो बंदरगाह है उस पे आपने देखा होगा कुछ दिन पहले हम लोगों की एक संधि हुई थी, एक नया अरेंजमेंट आया है। किस प्रकार से अफगानिस्तान के जो व्यवसायिक समुदाय हैं, बिजनेस ग्रुप्स हैं, उन लोग किस प्रकार से इस बंदरगाह का, इस पोर्ट का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, जो नया एक कनेक्टिविटी का एक नया कॉरिडोर जो स्थापित हुआ है। उसके अलावा आपको ध्यान होगा कि पिछले कुछ महीने में और पिछले सालों में हम लोगों ने कई एक प्रकार से मानवीय सहायता अफगानिस्तान को मुहैया कराया है। और मैं एक बार फिर से कहना चाहूँगा कि हम लोगों ने मानवीय सहायता के रूप में 50,000 मीट्रिक टन गेहूँ, 40,000 लीटर मेलाथ्योनिन जो कि एक पेस्टिसाइड होता है उसका मुहैया कराया है। और उसके अलावा 300 टन हमने दवाइयाँ भी उनको भेजी है और 28 टन जो अर्थक्वेक रिलीफ मटेरियल होता है वो भी हम लोगों ने उनको प्रदान किया है। और जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि हमारे ज़मीनी स्तर पर, समाज के स्तर पर अफगानिस्तान के साथ, वहाँ के लोगों के साथ बहुत पुराने संबंध है, ऐतिहासिक संबंध है। और ये संबंध हमारे जो अप्रोच है उस देश के साथ वो आगे इसको गाइड करता रहेगा। So we had a delegation led by Mr. J.P. Singh, who is the Joint Secretary in charge of Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran in the Ministry of External Affairs. He visited Kabul on 4th and 5th of November. During the visit, he had several meetings with the Afghan minister, including with the acting defense minister. He also called on former President Hamid Karzai. He also met the head of UN agencies there and several other senior ministers. They had some discussions on the India's humanitarian assistance that we're providing to people in Afghanistan, as also how the Chabahar port can be utilized by the business community in Afghanistan for transactions and for export and import and any other thing that they would like to do for. I also want to recall here that providing humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan is an important part of our assistance program. And so far, in the last few months and few years, we have dispatched several shipments of humanitarian assistance, which includes 50,000 metric tons of wheat, 40,000 liters of melathronium, which is a pesticide, 30 tons of medicines, and 28 tons of earthquake relief aid. We have, as you know, we have long-standing ties with the people of Afghanistan, and these ties will continue to guide our approach towards the country. Krish Mohan ji, you would have seen our statements that we made condemning the incident of violence in Brampton. You would also seen that our Prime Minister also expressed and strongly condemned what's going on there. We hope that the government of Canada will take due action, strong action against the perpetrators and uphold rule of law. That is what our expectation is. Ayushi, External Affairs Minister, is in Sydney today. You would have seen that he was some time back speaking to the business community, CEOs. He was addressing a CEOs roundtable. He also had a meeting with Australian Foreign Minister, where they together attended the 15th India-Australia Framework Dialogue. As part of the dialogue, all issues were discussed, and yes, External Affairs Minister did discuss all our security concerns that we have with Australia. So I would like to confirm. that for you. Yashi, on India-US ties, see, look, this India-US partnership is a special, very special and a multifaceted partnership. Our Prime Minister spoke to President Trump yesterday. Before that, he also sent a message on X post congratulating him on his historic election victory. As fellow democracy, India celebrates this expression of people's mandate in the United States. Prime Minister conveyed to President-elect that we look forward to working very closely, as he had done with him earlier as well, closely to further strengthen India-US comprehensive global and strategic partnership. Both India and the United States will work for the betterment of the people and to promote global peace and stability and prosperity. So we want to further strengthen our partnership and we look forward to it. As far as your questions regarding what sort of approach they will have on X country, etc., these are questions which the US government would answer for you. Can we go forward? Siddhant?
Hi sir, I'm Siddhant from CNN News 18. Sir, I have two questions. One is it true that social media pages of Australia Today, a prominent media outlet in Australia, has been banned in Canada? And my second question is, sir, regarding the state of Mizoram. Chief Minister of Mizoram, Lal Thoma, made a speech in United States on 4th September, where he spoke about the unjustly divided Zoe community and said we are forced to live under three different governments between India, Myanmar and Bangladesh. Sir, want to know your response on the Chief Minister's reaction, and also did the team from the government visited Chief Minister after this statement? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Runjun.
Runjun Sharma, RT. This is in continuation with the India-Canada story. Just for a bit more clarity, did India ask for security for the consular camps, and was that denied by Canada?
Okay. Keshav?
Sir, this is Keshav Padmanabhan from The Print. Just following up on Canada, can you give us a sense of whether in the last year, since the chill in diplomatic ties, whether there has been more threats to our diplomats and consular officials in Canada, whether the threats have increased against them, and a sense of whether there have been any other incidents with regards to our consular camps in the recent past that have been threatened by violence. And just secondly, on the EAM's visit to Australia, he had said that we are working proactively on peace in different regions. Could you just give us a sense of, what he meant by the kind of steps that we are taking to support peace in Russia, Ukraine, as well as the Gaza conflict? Thank you, sir.
Okay. अशोक?
सर, अशोक हूँ जी न्यूज़ से। फिर से खबरें आ रही हैं बांग्लादेश के चिटागोंग में कि जो अल्पसंख्यक समुदाय के लोग हैं उनके ऊपर फिर से अटैक हुआ है, और क्या ये जो वीडियो वायरल्स हो रहे हैं ये सही हैं, और इसका आधिकारिक रूप से एमईए ने फ्लैग ऑफ किया है क्या इस मैटर को?
ठीक है, अभिषेक.
Sir, Abhishek Jha, I'm an independent journalist. My question is regarding Pakistan's Punjab province chief minister has said that they would like to have a climate diplomacy with India, especially in the wake of this smog, which is impacting both sides of the border. So what is India's take on that?
Okay. So first, Siddhant, regarding your question about Canada blocking or banning Australia, the prominent outlet there, Australia Today. Yes, you have heard it correctly. We've also seen that we understand that the social media handles and pages of this particular outlet, which is an important diaspora outlet, has been blocked and are not available for viewers in Canada. This happened just an hour or so, a few hours after this particular handle carried the press conference of External Affairs Minister along with Penny Wong. And the particular media outlet also had several articles on the visit of the External Affairs Minister, as also an interview of External Affairs Minister. So we were surprised. It looks strange to us, But nonetheless, what I will say that these are actions which yet again highlight the hypocrisy of Canada towards freedom of speech. You would have seen that EM in his media engagement interaction, he spoke about three things. One was Canada making allegations and a pattern has developed without any specific evidence. Second thing he highlighted was that surveillance of Indian diplomats have been happening in Canada, which he termed as unacceptable. And then third thing which he highlighted was the political space which is being given in Canada to anti-India elements. So you can draw your conclusions from that why the Australia Today channel was blocked by Canada. Regarding a question on Mizoram, I have not seen those comments, but I will come back to you. We have had issues there because of Myanmar security situation. We've talked about fencing also earlier, some of the proposals that are there in the offing. So I'll come back to you after we have some clarity on that. Runjhun, yes, I would like to tell you that we had asked for security to be provided for our diplomats where the consular camp was to be held, and those have not been provided by the Canadian side. Keshav, I have been here for a year or so, or little less than a year, but have been following developments in regard to Canada-India relations. You would have seen over the last year or even more the kind of things that we've seen attacking Indian diplomats, threatening, intimidating, harassing Indian diplomats. I was myself based in New York, so there also I have had a close engagement on these issues. So I would say yes, the threats have increased. Surveillance, we talked about surveillance in my last engagement, that surveillance, Indian diplomats are put under surveillance, which is totally unacceptable. The External Affairs Minister also has spoken about it. We had also taken up the matter very strongly with the Canadian side on it. On EM's visit on peace, of course, when foreign ministers of two countries meet, when External Affairs Minister goes abroad, he talks about geopolitical issues, regional issues, global issues, and in that peace plan, peace initiatives, what's happening in West Asia, how things should be better, what can be done to improve situation in Russia, Ukraine. On Russia, Ukraine, you know what our position is. We emphasize on dialogue and diplomacy as a way forward. We've also made it very clear that India stands ready to contribute in whatever possible manner we can, so that there'll be peace in that part of the world. So all these issues, these are important issues. They were discussed as part of his engagement with the foreign minister. We've also had a press release issued, which will give you more details on that account. अशोक, चटगांव में भड़काऊ बातें की गई सोशल मीडिया पे। वो भड़काऊ बातें हिंदू समुदाय के लेके थी, उसके कारण वहाँ पर झगड़ा हुआ। वहाँ पर वहाँ पर जो हिंदू समुदाय के लोग हैं उन पर अटैक हुआ, उन पर लूटमारी की गई, उनको धमकाया गया। और ये सब चीज़ें, इन सब चीज़ों के पीछे जो एक्सट्रीमिस्ट वर्ग के लोग हैं, जो उग्रवादी उस टाइप के लोग हैं, उनका हाथ है। और हमारा ये बड़ा इस पहल से, इस प्रकार की चीज़ों से वहाँ पर समाज में जो बैलेंस है वो बिगड़ सकता है, कम्युनल टेंशन बढ़ सकता है। तो हमारा आग्रह है और वहाँ के सरकार से कि वो कदम उठाए ताकि ये जो एक्सट्रीमिस्ट वर्ग के लोग हैं उन पर कंट्रोल किया जाए, उन पर एक्शन लिया जाए। और जो वहाँ पर हिंदू समुदाय के लोग हैं और माइनॉरिटी वर्ग के लोग हैं उनको सुरक्षा प्रदान किया जाए। ये उनकी खास जिम्मेवारी है कि सुरक्षा उनको दिया जाए। काफ़ी सारे वीडियो हमने देखे हैं, अभी आप लोगों ने देखा होगा सोशल मीडिया में, काफ़ी चल रहा है। वहाँ पर लूट लूटपाट हुई, उनको धमकाया गया, उनको मारा गया, ये निंदनीय है। Okay, see, we have observed that there have been recent attacks on Hindu community in Chittagong. Their properties have been looted, their business establishments have been looted, and these happened following incendiary posts on social media targeting Hindu religious organizations. It is understood that there are extremist elements who are behind such posts and such illegal criminal activities. This is bound to create further tensions in the community. We yet again urge the government of Bangladesh to take strong measures to ensure the safety of Hindus and to take action against extremist elements. Abhishek, regarding a question on climate diplomacy, so far we have not heard anything formally from the Pakistan side. Can we go forward? Sudhi?
So, just a clarification, if you could give us on the Afghan visit. Is it the first official meeting that India is having with the Afghan Defense Minister? And on the issue of humanitarian aid, did they identify anything, sir?
Sorry, on humanitarian aid, what did you say?
Did Afghanistan ask for anything?
Okay.
This is Hasini Heather from The Hindu. I wanted to ask, there's been this conference hosted by the ICWA this week for Myanmar rebels, ethnic armed organizations, as well as the rebel NUG government. On the 11th of November is when it's expected to be hosted, actually. Wanted to know whether India is planning to have any kind of a role in a ceasefire, negotiating a ceasefire between the junta and the rebels over there.
Divya?
So, Divya from the Indian Express. We had seen reports that Nepal is printing new currency notes with a revised map, with Indian territories included. So, any comments on that?
Okay. Jugal?
Yeah, hi, so this is Jugal from the BBC. So could you give us an update on where the disengagement process with China is at? And in the wake of the Galwan incident, we had seen that the Indian government had imposed several additional economic measures as well as, banning of social media. Have negotiations or talks also looked at those areas, and any progress, if at all, on that, you can let us know.
Okay. Neeraj?
सर, नीरज हूँ न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया से। पिछली बार ट्रंप के कार्यकाल में ट्रेड टैरिफ की बात करें या वीज़ा को लेकर खासकर H1B वीज़ा, L1 वीज़ा की बात करें तो ट्रंप सरकार का रुख बहुत कड़ा था। भारत सरकार नई ट्रंप सरकार से कैसे इंटरैक्ट करेगी दोनों मसलों पर?
Sudhi, first your question. Yes, I do understand that this was the first meeting with the interim defense minister of Afghanistan. On the humanitarian aid, I don't have any detail as to what aid they asked for, but I can tell you that this formed the centerpiece of the discussion between Joint Secretary Singh and the Afghan delegation in several other meetings. Suhasini, on your question regarding ICWA hosting a workshop, yes, we did have a workshop, which I understand, on 5th and 6th of November. As an important neighboring country of India, developments in Myanmar are naturally of interest to us and to other stakeholders, including our academic community, our think tank community, and our business community. They have been, over a period of time and off and on a regular basis, organizing some interaction with various stakeholders in Myanmar. And on 5th and 6th of November, I understand, the Indian Council for World Affairs, they organized one particular workshop on Indian experience on constitutionalism and federalism, where they invited stakeholders from various segments of the Myanmar society. And it is our understanding that such interactions, we hope, will contribute to deliberations on developing a Myanmar-led and Myanmar-owned solution to address the country's current challenges. India remains, on its part, a steadfast supporter of democracy, peace and stability in Myanmar. Divya, on your question, we've seen such reports. Our position on this particular issue has been very clear, consistent, and is very well known. So that is where I'll stop. Jugal, regarding disengagement has moved forward, and we have patrolling has commenced in both Depsang and in Demchok on economic measures, etc. How will those things pan out? We have, the last meeting took place at the leaders level in Kazan. It was decided that henceforth, going forward, the foreign minister and other senior officials will meet, and they will discuss as to how both countries can rebuild relations on several counts. So those discussions are to happen. नीरज, भारत और अमेरिका का जो आर्थिक रिश्ते हैं और काफ़ी फैला हुआ रिश्ता है। पिछले साल 2023 में करीबन $190 बिलियन का ट्रेड का व्यापार भारत और अमेरिका के बीच में हुआ, जिसमें गुड्स भी थे और सर्विसेज भी थे। 2023 में अमेरिका भारत का सेकंड लार्जेस्ट, दूसरा सबसे बड़ा व्यापार ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर रहा। दोनों देशों के बीच में बहुत सारे मुद्दे होते हैं बात करने के लिए। दोनों देशों के बीच में बातचीत चल रही है इन सारी मुद्दे पे। इतना बड़ा जो व्यापार का धंधा है, दोनों के बीच में इन्वेस्टमेंट का धंधा है, बहुत सारे मुद्दे रहते हैं जिनको कि रिजॉल्व करना होता है, आउटस्टैंडिंग इश्यूज होता है। तो आपको याद होगा कि पिछले साल हम लोगों ने, या इसी साल, जो 7 मुद्दे थे WTO के तहत, उसको भी हमने सुलझाया। दोनों देशों के बीच में लगातार बात चल रही है, और जो भी इस प्रकार का कोई मुद्दा होगा जिस पे गहन चिंतन करने की ज़रूरत है, दोनों देशों को सहमति बनाने की ज़रूरत है, उस पे काम किया जाएगा। दोनों देश हमारे तरफ से भारत और अमेरिका के रिश्तों को, आर्थिक रिश्तों को, व्यापार के रिश्तों को मजबूत करने के दिशा में हम काम करने के लिए प्रेरित है, काम करने के लिए अग्रसर है। जहाँ तक H1B का सवाल है, मैंने पहले भी कहा था, मोबिलिटी और माइग्रेशन पार्टनरशिप जो है हमारे दोनों देश के द्विपक्षीय मामले में उसका एक अहम भाग है। और हमारा बहुत सारे प्रोफेशनल अमेरिका में, जैसे कि आप जानते हैं, काम करते हैं। हमारे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स अमेरिका में हैं, और ये तादाद बढ़ रही है। साथ ही साथ हमारा इनोवेशन का, टेक्नोलॉजी का, डिफेंस का इतना बड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट का पार्टनरशिप है। हम चाहेंगे कि ये सारे मुद्दों पर हमारी उनसे अच्छी बात हो और हमारे रिश्ते और मजबूत हों। क्वेश्चन दे।
मैं संजीव त्रिवेदी, न्यूज़ 24 से। शेख हसीना हमारे देश में रह रही है, और उनके द्वारा जब प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप को बधाई दिया गया, तो इस तरह का संदेश सामने आया है जिसमें कि उन्होंने खुद को प्रधानमंत्री के तौर पर रेफर किया है। अब आपने इसी मंच से कई दफ़ा उनको एड्रेस करते हुए पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री कहा है, तो क्या इस पर आप एक स्थिति साफ करेंगे कि भारत उन्हें प्राइम मिनिस्टर इन एग्जाइल मानता है या फिर वो पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री हैं?
मैं संतोष ठाकुर नवादा से। सर, मेरे 2 सवाल हैं। डोनाल्ड ट्रंप के राष्ट्रपति बनने के बाद कनाडा के साथ हमारे रिश्तों पर क्या असर होगा? क्या उनका कोई प्रत्यक्ष या परोक्ष प्रभाव होगा? दूसरा सर, देपसांग में क्या चाइना ने सभी पेट्रोल पॉइंट पे हमारे को एक्सेस दे दिया है पेट्रोल का? थैंक यू।
नीरज।
सर मैं नीरज दुबे प्रभा साक्षी से। सर एक रिपोर्ट के अनुसार अमेरिका में जो बिना दस्तावेज के रह रहे हैं उसमें भारतीयों का जो समूह है उसको तीसरा सबसे बड़ा समूह माना जाता है। डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने वादा किया था कि अगर वो सत्ता में आते हैं तो बिना दस्तावेज के रह रहे या जो घुसपैठिए हैं उनको बाहर करेंगे। तो क्या अगर भारतीयों पर कोई संकट आता है तो उसको लेकर भारत सरकार की क्या योजना है, उनको दिक्कत ना हो इसके लिए?
संजीव, पहला सवाल आपका, जो सवाल आपने किया उस पर मैं कहूँगा कि जो मैंने पहले यहाँ से जिस प्रकार से उस बात पे अपना वक्तव्य रखा है, हम लोग उसी वक्तव्य को आप हमारा पोजीशन माने। ठीक है। We have said from this place that she is former Prime Minister, so that is where it stands. संतोष जी, आपके दो सवाल हैं। एक तो अमेरिका में जो इलेक्शन हुआ उसका क्या प्रभाव पड़ेगा भारत और कनाडा के रिश्तों पे। भारत और कनाडा के जहाँ तक रिश्तों का सवाल है उसका एक अपना कॉन्टेक्स्ट है, उसके अपने दायरे हैं और भली भांति जा रहे हैं कि हमारे और कनाडा के रिश्तों में भी क्या चल रहा है। उस पर तीसरे देश में क्या हो रहा है उस पर उससे कोई प्रभाव नहीं पड़ने वाला है। इस पर उसका स्टैंड अलोन, किसी भी देश के साथ हमारा रिश्ता जो होता है उसकी एक स्टैंड अलोन नीति होती है, स्टैंड अलोन उसका कॉन्टेक्स्ट होता है। जहाँ तक पेट्रोल एक्सेस की बात है, हमने पहले भी कहा कि दोनों डेमचौक में और देपसांग में पेट्रोलिंग जैसे पहले हो रहा था वो जो एग्रीमेंट हुआ है उसके तहत सब जगह शुरू हो गया है। कुछ रिपोर्ट आई थी यहाँ पर कि कुछ उसमें बाधाएं आ रही है, वो रिपोर्ट सही नहीं है। इसके बारे में क्लैरिफिकेशन भी किया है, मेरे ख्याल से फौज की तरफ से हुआ है, वो रिपोर्ट ठीक नहीं है। नीरज, हमारी नीति ये है कि इलीगल इमिग्रेशन को हमको बढ़ावा नहीं देना है। हम चाहते हैं कि लीगल तौर पे हमारे लोग बाहर जाएं। भारत को एक स्किल कैपिटल के रूप में आज जाना जाता है, देखा जा रहा है। हमारे यहाँ से नौजवान इंजीनियर्स हो, प्रोफेशनल्स हो, दुनिया के हर कोने में जा रहे हैं। ऐसे समय में हम चाहते हैं कि और नए नए रास्ते हमारे लोगों के लिए खुले। इससे सिर्फ हमारे लोग को बाहर में अवसर नहीं मिल रहा है, उसके अलावे आप जो हमारा गठजोड़ है व्यवसाय को लेके, तकनीकी को लेके, इनोवेशन को लेके, वो भी मजबूत होता है हमारे। तो पिछली बार भी हम लोगों ने इस बात पे चर्चा की थी। कुछ लोग बाहर से अभी अमेरिका से वापस लाए गए जो इलीगली वहाँ रह रहे थे लोग के लिए। तो हम चाहेंगे कि हमारी तो बातचीत चल रही है उनसे, जो वहाँ पर लोग जिनके पास सही दस्तावेज नहीं है, वहाँ अवैध रूप से रह रहे हैं, इरेगुलर रूप से रह रहे हैं, उनको वापस आना चाहिए। In fact, we have continuous dialogue on this matter with the United States, and we want to see how best we can promote legal migration from our country. So with that, you have a question there? Yeah, please.
Avinash Agar from the Association Board. Sir, do you think there is any possibility that our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, will see Mr. Donald Trump sometime before his inauguration in January?
I cannot, give you an answer to this question. So, whenever we have an important visit coming up, we keep you updated. There are some important visits coming up next week. We will have a press engagement. We will also have a press release whereby you will be informed of the visit. Uma?
Financial Express. I just wanted to check during Joint Secretary's visit to Afghanistan, Was the condition of women also raised, or this is just about the humanitarian aid and?
It was primarily, it was focused on humanitarian assistance. I told you it also focused on how the business community can use Chabahar port for enhancing economic linkages between India and Afghanistan. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week.
camps in the recent past that have been